So today I want to change it up a little bit and talk about projects that got me the job and share them, and I'm going to leave the option open to the viewers to choose a couple projects, and I'll go and make those into videos where we can go and make them together, and I'll allow you guys to have room to make your own features and style it your own way so that you can turn it into a project you can put on your resume and then eventually get a job. So that's the whole goal of this series I want to work on. I show projects, we pick one, we go make it, and we restart, and we just keep doing that till everyone gets a job or at least starts making projects for their portfolio. Now remember, these projects aren't meant for you to go and copy paste. They're meant for you to see how it's done, and then you can take that and branch it off and go and work on your own thing. I will be doing a couple courses on more in-depth projects, ones that you can put on your portfolio, but I'd like to start with these mini projects because they're meant to learn from. It's more important for you to understand what's going on in this one and carry that over to something else. Hope you enjoyed. Let's get into the RGB B-roll. So here's my GitHub. If you guys want to see the code for any of the projects I'm about to show, you can go see it there. Now, warning, these projects were made on my early days. I did not use best practices because I didn't even know what they were. I've learned them over time. This code isn't perfect. It has probably many flaws in it, but it worked at the time and it did get me the job. So let's go through them one by one. So this project, Food Space, was my capstone project for my bootcamp. I did it with 2 other partners and we had 10 days to finish it. We chose to take something that we've never touched before, so we took React Native and we made a food directory style app so you can add your recipes and go see other people's recipes. You see the details here with these little like separators that you would have in your kitchen. It had all authentication and all those things, and you can go and add recipes, you can favorite them, create, pretty much a generic content creation app, but in this case the content was recipes. It was a really fun app to make and a really big challenge because of the time we had to do it in. This application is my React portfolio. I've made 2 portfolios and I've shown one before on Josh's channel if I'm not mistaken. This is another one I made after that. I haven't used this one for some reason. It's just probably because I got the job, so I didn't want to focus that much on the portfolio anymore, even though I should be using this one. It's really nice and I'll show it to you guys right now. So this is what it looks like. I tried to go with simple colors, simple theme, don't complicate anything. You scroll down and you get a timeline of my projects. These are the ones we're actually going to be going through in a couple minutes, but see, it pops out, it slides in, it looks really nice, and it's super clean. The colors are all very uniform. The one I had that I'll show in a minute, I found the colors were a bit they would clash too much. They're too harsh. This is a lot nicer in the eyes. And I was trying to do something where I can test like what people like more, so if they like the text or the photos more. So you see, you can just change the components, and I like this one more. And at the bottom there's a contact me form where you can go and contact me if you really wanted to. See, really simple colors. You got these changing pictures to see the applications. So I don't have Rupee set up on my computer yet, so we're gonna have to go with the Heroku version. It's kind of broken, but this is my Jungle store. So this was made with Rails. It was using Postgres. You see, you can pretty much a whole store. It had payment processing. So let's say we add an item, we go to the cart, we paid with card. It'd bring up your Stripe account. You don't have to do that, and then you'd go and it would pay for you usually. I probably put something in wrong. Yeah, the Heroku version is pretty broken because you gotta change up a couple things so it's safer. But authentication, this one, we didn't really focus on styling. It was pretty generic Bootstrap and a little bit of Jquery, I think. but it was really important to get the backend working and learn how Rails works, and how instead of doing the node structure, we went with MVC. So it's a lot different, but it was definitely a really fun application to make. This was my first portfolio I used. I definitely think this did help me with getting a job because it was such a nice portfolio at the time. You see, when you scroll, instead of scrolling, it changes the divs and it goes through different components. It's got like this really cool animations in it, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't do it all from scratch. I definitely had a lot of little UI kits like this and this. This app was my midterm project at my bootcamp, where we made a Uber Eats style app. So you made a cart, you gave it your phone number at the bottom, you click checkout, and then you would get a confirmation on your phone, and then you confirm that it's your number and that your address, and you're gonna come pick it up at whatever time is available. And then it would text the restaurant's phone, and it would tell the restaurant, hey, you've got an order for this, you know, their whole cart. What time is this going to be done at, or how long should this take? And they can estimate a time, put it in, so let's say 50 minutes. And then it sends a text to the person who ordered saying, hey, in 50 minutes, can you be at this address? And it was just like a little chat bot that would deal with the restaurant and the user and give them the information that they need. So if the restaurant needed something, they could text the number, and the number would go get that information for them and bring it back. It was a really, really fun and heavy back-end project. You see, the front end wasn't amazing, but at the time, this was like this was like the fourth week of the bootcamp, so we focused a lot on the back end at the time. It was really fun. You had the admin page where you could say it's been picked up, you could change the order, you could do a bunch of little details, see the number. Ideally, we would add more than just number, because you can just make a bunch of orders on one number and never pick them up. But it was really fun, and we document all the projects, which is really important. So any of you guys can come on here, and you have so much documentation of what I've used, how to set it up, the code, all that. Now this is probably my favorite project out of the whole bunch, just because I was interested in how Twitter works, and I've always wanted to make a clone, and I've tried, and I failed the first couple times. So when we did this, and I had a bit more understanding of how everything worked, this was genuinely fun to make. I showed this project on Josh's YouTube channel, and then after a night or two, it filled up with like a couple hundred tweets, just people coming from the channel. It was pretty funny. This was made no front-end framework, so Jquery, it had Node Express Mongo. Yeah, it had Node Express Mongo, and pretty simple. You type in a tweet, click tweet, it tweets it for you on a random account. You don't have control over your account. You can open and close this. You can, right now it's kind of broken, so you can add unlimited tweets. Never went back to fix that. But yeah, it was a really fun project to make. Just learning how Jquery works and how to make components like these in Jquery. Really, really cool project. This project was one of my first backend projects. I made it using Node Express and some Jquery and Bootstrap. And this one was similar. This one works similar to bit.ly. If you guys ever seen that, it's a link shortener. So if you have a super long link, let's say like this one. I don't know if you guys could see. No, you guys can't see that, but it would take a link, a really long one. I could probably show an example here, and it would return to you a code here, F3, 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 and you could take that code and you can throw it into your URL. So let's say the website was called app. So you would do app.com/F3, and then it would bring you to random.com. And here is your admin page. You can see how many people have visited, how many unique visits. So is it just one person checking the site 150 times, or is it 150 people each checking once? You can see when it's created, you can edit it, you can do a lot of really cool things. And this fully worked. I could have hosted this and made it into my own, but I probably wouldn't have been able to do any hosting at the time. Yeah, so you see how documented a little bit. Some nice pictures. This is where I really got into the front end, where I was like, I want to try and make this look all nice and pretty. Yeah. This project was a WebSocket application where I remade iMessage. So you go in here, you say your name. So let's say my name is Mike. And then I say, hello everyone. Now anyone can go to this link and do the same thing I just did, and we can have a group chat full of like 30 people, 40 people, 50 people, until the server crashes pretty much. The only problem with this one is if I leave it on for too long, people are going to start messaging and the database is going to get huge. So every like 10 minutes, I think, it just clears itself. This one was really fun to make because we learned how WebSockets work. Pretty much, it leaves the connection open and you can talk through it the whole time. This was the most challenging project I ever made up to date, because at the time I had no clue what I was doing and I was just trying to make it work. This was a JavaScript game I made using Jquery, the basics of the basics, like barely any Jquery, mostly just JavaScript. So you add your player 1, you have your player 2, they click start and it does like this Pokemon style like flash, and then it goes and it does this and it says tie. I'm telling you, this was the hardest project I've ever had to make. Just trying to learn how to make clickable buttons. This is a huge challenge. And you can play against a bot that I added, and I really wanted to add some AI into here, so like it predicts what the best outcome is based on your previous hand. But yeah, this was a really fun project. And I actually have a good amount of users that play this still. This was my second project after the rock, paper, scissors, shoot project, where I made a little encryption software. So you go in here and you write, hello YouTube. You choose your level of encryption. We'll choose level 1. And you click encrypt. And it gives you back this key. Or sorry, the message that's encrypted by that key. And you could take that and you can send it to your friend, and your friend can come in here and click decrypt, and then it decrypts it back to hello YouTube. My last project, the one I would love to go over with like React or something at one point, but this was a project I made to get it before I even started the bootcamp. It was just like something I wanted to understand how everything I learned on this project. This was my biggest learning project, and this took me like, I think it was 40 hours or something like that. And what this was a little like library where you throw in this big object with a bunch of settings. So you could choose like colors, label, positions, everything, padding, and then it would build you this bar chart. And you can give it your data, so your names or whatever, you can give it like the parameters, and it'll go and it'll turn that into a bar chart. You could choose vertical or horizontal, you could choose like the incrementation on these sides here and how the bars are spaced and everything. Like really, you can make anything with this. And so I made it. You download the file like you would Jquery or something, and then you could just call that function. This one right here, draw a bar chart, and you give it the data, the options, and I think that the element was what element you want to put it inside of. So if you had like a specific div you wanted to put inside it, you put the div or the class name in there, and it would go find it, and then it would inject this bar chart into there. And with that, you can give it like a, where is it? There, you can give it a top and a left, and you can actually choose the position of the bar chart. This is a really cool project. This is one I would love to make on the channel using React this time, and just show how to make reusable components and all that. I think it'd be a really cool project. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this project. I would love to go them through in detail through each one, but I need to get some feedback on which ones you guys actually want to see. It's really important for me to know which ones you guys want to see, so I can spend more time on those and actually remake them with certain technologies. Like instead of just doing Jquery, let's do it with React this time, and instead of using Mongo, let's do it with a relational database this time. So I need to know what people are looking for so I can focus more on that. Not all these projects were presented to employers. Most of them were the ones at the start. So the Jungle app, that's the Rails and Ruby project, the JavaScript Node project, so the Food Space one, the Food for Thought one, the Tweeter one. Pretty much those were the ones that were considered job ready for me, and I applied and they were interested. And the company I'm currently working for, they asked me to come in and present my React Native application, so the phone app, the recipe phone app, to their engineering team. And I presented it with my team, and they called me a couple days later and they were like, hey, we want you to come in. So yeah, I mean, showing that you can do from step 1 to 100 if you're going for full stack, it's the most important thing. Show you can do the front end, show you can send all the data to the back end, what you could do with it, how you save it, all these things. Show all the features you make, and then show a timestamp or document at least your path, and you're golden, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for potential when it's your first job. They're not looking for someone who can do the job. They're looking for someone who in 6 months to a year could do the job really well. What's your potential? They're going to invest in you for the next 3 to 6 months to train you. You have to prove to them your potential, not that you could do the job right now, because most likely you can't.